SSL termination. SSL termination means that IHS handles the decryption of SSL or TLS traffic coming from clients before forwarding it to the backend application server. So encryption and decryption is handled by IHS. So this is called SSL termination. So why is it important? In simpler terms, IHS accepts encrypted requests and decrypts, then it passes the unencrypted HTTP traffic to WebSphere application server. So the work of the activity of encryption and decryption is done by IHS. If you configure CA certificates at IHS level. So what it does, it receives the encrypted communication or requests and decrypts it with the help of decryption algorithms, and then it sends the unencrypted HTTP traffic to WebSphere application server. So that is offloading the SSL. So how is the workflow? Browser sends the request and IHS receives it, handles the SSL termination with the help of this module, mod IBM SSL or mod SSL, and it will send the plain HTTP request to WebSphere application server. So this is how it works. If you configure CA certificates at IHS, not on WebSphere, this is called SSL termination at IHS. And what happens internally? So this is a URL. IHS listens on 443 for SSL and accepts the TLS or SSL connection. And with the help of this particular module, IBM SSL, it negotiates the TLS handshake with the clients. So what happens in the negotiation? The negotiation is about the algorithms, the cipher, the digest, hashing algorithm, right? So these all things go on when the TLS handshake is happening in the backend. And it decrypts the SSL data using its private key and certificate that is configured in the KDB in case of mod IBM SSL. So KDB means key database. So usually Java-based key stores are PKCS 12, PKCS 8, PKCS 11, JKS, PFX. These all are Java-based key stores. And IBM has its proprietary vendor-specific key store for IHS and plugins. It is KDB. Just like Oracle has its own key store for OHS. OHS supports Wallet, right? So TLS negotiation and decryption, it occurs with the help of mod IBM SSL once the request is received. So here we can understand the SSL termination. The browser sends the request, IBM listens on 443. It decrypts the SSL using mod IBM SSL and the private key and the certificates stored in KDB. So once it receives the request, the TLS handshake will be performed. After successful TLS handshake, all the negotiations and validations, once they are completed, the request will be forwarded. And before forwarding the request to the plugins, IHS will decrypt the data. Then the WebSphere plugin, it will use the plugin configuration file if there are multiple applications deployed. So based on the URL and the context root and the URI, the request will be sent to appropriate WebSphere application server in the backend. And once the request is processed by your backend server, the response is sent to WebSphere plugin, and the plugin will send it back to IHS, and IHS will again encrypt the response and is sent back via HTTPS protocol. So yeah, after decryption, IHS plugin detects the WebSphere backend and forwards the unencrypted HTTP request. Then a response is sent back to IHS. IHS encrypts it, the response, and sends it to the client via HTTPS.